What's up, guys? Jake here from Team Boardwipe. Throughout YuGiOh's history, there have been cards released that completely changed how we played the game and how we build our decks. So today we will be looking at 5 cards, as well as a few honorable mentions, that we determined had the greatest impact on how we played. So we're starting off with our number 5 card, Shaddoll Fusion. So if you didn't know, Shaddoll Fusion is a fusion spell for Shaddolls, obviously, I guess. But what would happen if your opponent controlled an extra deck monster, they could fuse by sending monsters from their deck to the grave instead of their hands. So this was really impactful because you could no longer leave extra deck monsters on the field. If you did, it was basically a double or triple Foolish Burial if they summoned a Shaddoll construct. In the mirror match, it was really powerful because you had to set a Shaddoll Beast over the top of your fusion monster, otherwise your opponent could activate the Shaddoll Fusions. As well as, if you clear your opponent's extra deck monster, they could then add the Shaddoll Fusion back, unless you somehow shuffle it into deck or something like that. So basically they could fuse over and over again just from one card and just keep sending monsters from their deck and gaining advantage. So our number 4 card is Necros of Trishla. So this is a Necros ritual monster, and when it's summoned, it banishes 1 card from your opponent's hand, field, and graveyard. So how this changed how we played is you had to leave either hand, field, or graveyard, one of them empty, because it had to banish all 3 in order to get its effect. If you left one, it would be a +3 and just be a huge swing in card advantage, and it was a very powerful overall card. It was very accessible, many cards in the deck could search it, so you could almost summon it at will whenever they felt like. Also, it could be resummoning from grave with Necros Cycle, or add back with Necros of Unicorn to just keep summoning and banishing over and over again. Our number 3 card is That Grass Looks Greener. So the biggest thing about Grass Looks Greener is people play 60 card decks that they would mill to the difference in cards and deck. So the change that people had to make is they played bigger decks overall to minimize the impact of That Grass Looks Greener. More recently, which is a set after it, when Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring came out, people would have to hold their Ash Blossom to wait for That Grass Looks Greener or Left Arm Offering, so they knew that their opponent could not activate it. If they did not and they used it on something like a Lone Fire Blossom, That Grass Looks Greener was almost sure to follow. People also did not run Pot of Desires in the Zodiac deck, which was popular at the time of release, but even in the other decks, Desires was run less and less because the 12 cards taken out of deck had a huge impact on your opponent being able to mill 12 extra cards. Our number 2 card is Heavy Storm, or rather, the banning of Heavy Storm. So when this card was played, before it was banned, you had to hold your spells and traps in hand, only be able to set 1 or 2 at a time. If you did not, and your opponent had Heavy Storm, you could be completely blown out of the duel. After this card was played many times, you could see a resurgence of more back row set. The only way you could set more than 1 or 2 was if you had a Solemn Judgment, a Starlight Road, or even something like Stardust Dragon to protect them. So after it was banning, back row became a lot more prevalent in the game. Even the Field Spell Wars, which if you didn't know at the time, you could only have 1 Field Spell total on the field. The Field Spell Wars could be won by your opponent having Heavy Storm and just completely wiping yours off the field. We're going to get into some honorable mentions real quick. First honorable mention is Artifact Sanctum. If you didn't know, this card specials 1 artifact from the deck, but you can't conduct your battle phase, as well as if it's destroyed, you can destroy a card on an opponent's field. I'm also including all the artifacts along with this card since it summoned all of them. So all the artifacts need to be summoned on your opponent's turn and they get a special effect depending on which one it is. So the only way to properly get rid of any of the artifacts if you knew they were set was during your opponent's turn, you would use something like a Mystical Space Typhoon to destroy them. So this led to cards like Alucard, which had seen a lot of play previously before the release, not be able to play it as much, because you could not clear back row randomly, as well as not be able to just clear it with MST at any point. Our next honorable mention is number 101, Silent Anarch. So this card was huge on release. It was generic monster removal, but replaced Diamond Dire Wolf because it stayed on the field, and it could even live through things like Dark Hole, or Regeki, or Mirror Force. Regeki wasn't out at the time, or it wasn't legal at the time. But the biggest thing about number 101 was you had to summon all of your monsters in defense mode. All special summon monsters in defense mode. Because if you left them in attack, 101 could come and take them, so it away. And our number 1 card is Maxi. So this card's been around what seems like forever. It's been out for like 7 years. And it's changed the order that we summon in, or even prevented us from playing some decks. You always need to prepare for your opponent to have Maxi. Even with that 1 now, whoever sees it, people call it a god card because whoever sees it pretty much wins the duel. It's been relevant in nearly every single format, and it'll continue to be relevant as long as it's legal. So what do you guys think of our list? Do you think that we missed anything that we should have included? Please like, comment, subscribe, and have a great day. Thank you.